The number of law enforcement officers shot to death in the line of duty up about 2/3 over last year. 60 officers fatally shot in the United States so far this year. That is a 67% surge, according to data posted by the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund. 20 of those deaths are considered ambushes. The latest of those ambush-style killings was Detective Benjamin Marconi with the San Antonio Police Force. He was one of 4 officers shot across 4 cities in just one day earlier this week. And remember the chaos in Dallas last summer where an Army veteran ambushed and killed 5 officers? Police say he was angry about the string of police shootings of innocent black men. Guy, what do we do to stop it? And is it rhetoric that's driving it?
I don't like blaming rhetoric for political violence or politically motivated violence, because then we go down a very slippery slope where we start blaming people's thoughts and free speech for the terrible actions of criminals or madmen. Just on this issue generally, obviously, when you sign up to be a police officer, you know to some extent you're putting your life at risk. It's part of the job. And that's why we're so grateful as Americans for what they do for us. What really is so upsetting about these new statistics is the number of these deaths. They're not like, oh, robbers get caught up and start shooting, and it's sort of in the line of duty, someone gets hurt or killed. These are people intentionally targeting our police, ambushing cops.
Assassination.
That's what it is. And I was talking with some NYPD officers just the other day. I was in Brooklyn for a basketball game, and we were chatting. They gave me some directions that I needed. And it just occurred to me, these guys would get a call on their radio at any second to go somewhere, and they will race there as fast as they can to go help someone. And there is a chance, a non-zero chance, tragically, that someone at the other end is waiting for them to try to do harm to them. And, I mean, that is why, you know, we get all involved in these Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter. These folks are some of the best that our society has to offer. It doesn't say that there aren't excesses. The police are not always right about everything, and people who commit crime should be held to account. But overall, our police are incredible, and these stories just break my heart.
Well, Kennedy, don't you think that if we got more direction, at least in the way that all of our leaders speak about the value of what police officers do to us, would it stop that? How do you stop this?
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think it's interesting because the way Hillary Clinton talked about police officers in this country, it resonated with more than just cops. You know, because I really feel like she was pandering to a part of her base that she already had secured. And I find it to be really irresponsible because, you know, and I've said this so many times, Julie and I agree a lot about this. We need to have meaningful criminal justice reform in this country. We really do. But the fact that we need that is in no way justification for this kind of murder, you know, these kind of assassinations. And I do think it's irresponsible. You know, I think it's one thing to set the tone and what you say and how you say it, but and I think there are a lot of people who have friends and neighbors and relatives who are cops, and they see the way that a lot of these elected officials, particularly on the left, disparage them and, you know, in a blanket fashion dismiss what they do and how they do it. And I think that adds to the unease and the instability of the very few people who go out and hurt cops.
Right, and you can have your opinions on criminal justice reform. I agree that there's a lot to be done there, and you can have specific complaints about the police or the way law enforcement works, but these officers are people. They're individuals with families, and that's obviously something that we need to talk about rather than just vilifying the police force in general. Again, you can't blame rhetoric, but obviously there's something going on if it's happening more often.
You can blame incitement. If there's direct incitement, obviously. But I think it's,
in general, I don't like to blame rhetoric for things like this. You don't hear something and then go out and kill somebody without having something else going on.
Yeah, you know, I'll just echo everything that you said, Kennedy, which is there's a place for criminal justice reform. You and I feel very strongly about it. It doesn't mean that you wake up one day and take out your anger and animosity against the very people who, by the way, oftentimes are protecting the very community that you come from. And so I think that's very, very important to bear in mind. Everybody needs to take a deep breath and realize the police, even if you have some bad officers and some bad apples that you personally don't like, as a whole, as you said, Guy, are here to protect us. They are running into the fire, running into the situation where we're all running out. And that's important to bear in mind.
Imagine your life, your community, and the chaos if the police were not there for you at every turn. Thanks, guys. As President-elect Trump prepares to move on to the White House, his wife, Melania Trump, defying the norm with her plan to become the first long-distance First Lady. What will this mean for the Trump family? That's next.